Welcome to my channel Valuable Rare Coins because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 1965 Washington quarter-dollar coin, where history, minting errors, and condition all combine to create something truly special. 1965 was a monumental year in U.S. coinage history. It was the first year the U.S. Mint officially removed 90% silver from quarters, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. Most people think this means all 1965 quarters are common, modern, and basically worthless beyond their face value. But what if I told you that some 1965 quarters were actually struck on silver planchets from the previous year by mistake? These accidental carryovers are so rare that their discovery created a wave of excitement throughout the entire coin collecting community. Collectors now eagerly hunt for these silver planchet errors, and they're not that hard to identify once you know what to look for. A regular clad 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but a silver quarter tips the scale at around 6.25 grams. That small difference can mean a huge difference in value. And if you spot a quarter with a completely silver edge instead of one showing a copper line, then you could be holding a genuine 1965 silver quarter error. These are the coins that break records and steal the spotlight in auctions. But silver planchet errors aren't the only reason 1965 quarters are in high demand. Some have been found with striking errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, and double die errors, all of which make them extremely appealing to collectors. Imagine finding a coin where the design is dramatically shifted to one side, or a coin with bold doubling in the date or lettering. That's not just cool to look at, it's money in your pocket. These kinds of errors don't happen often, and when they do, they're usually caught and destroyed. The ones that slip through? They become treasures. Let's not forget about coins in exceptional condition. Most 1965 quarters have been heavily circulated, tossed around in pockets, registers, and machines for decades. That's why when a quarter from this year appears in mint state 65, 66, or even higher, it grabs attention fast. A coin with a bright luster, razor-sharp details, and flawless surfaces becomes a showcase piece, and collectors are willing to pay serious premiums to own one. And yes, the market reflects this growing demand. A few years ago, a rare 1965 Washington quarter, struck on a silver planchet and preserved in pristine condition, stunned everyone at a major coin auction when it sold for an astounding $105,000. This wasn't just a one-time fluke. It was a moment that confirmed the incredible potential of this humble quarter, and it left collectors everywhere scrambling to check their change jars. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is one of the rare and valuable ones? Start with the weight. A precise digital scale is your best friend here. Next, inspect the edge. If you don't see that familiar copper strip, you might be onto something big. Use a magnifier to check the date and lettering for doubling. Look at the rim to spot any off-center strike, and check for unusual shapes that could signal a planchet or striking error. If anything seems off, send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation, because that little 25-cent coin might just be your ticket to a big payday. Collectors love the 1965 quarter not just because of its rarity, but because it represents a transition, a moment in history when American coinage changed forever. And within that change, errors were made, and those errors became valuable. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collecting journey, the 1965 Washington quarter is one of those coins that you must keep an eye out for. So, have you ever found a 1965 quarter that looked unusual? Maybe it had no copper edge or felt a little heavier in your hand. Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your coin stories and help you on your collecting journey. Who knows, your discovery could be the next headline at a major coin auction. Second rare coin. Uncover a rare 1971 Washington quarter-dollar coin. That's exactly the kind of discovery they've made. These seemingly ordinary coins are making headlines and shocking collectors, and in today's video, you're about to find out why the 1971 Washington quarter is a coin you absolutely need to keep an eye on at first glance. The 1971 quarter might not look all that different. It bears the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, the proud American eagle, a design that had already become iconic by then. But hidden within certain batches of these coins are subtle, rare, and valuable minting anomalies that elevate the value of this quarter from just 25 cents to tens of thousands of dollars. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Any simple coin could be a treasure waiting to be found. Let's start with one of the most prized errors for this coin, the double die obverse, where details like the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," or even the date 1971 appear doubled when viewed under magnification. This kind of error occurs during the minting process when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly off alignment. For collectors, this doubling isn't a flaw, it's a jackpot. Depending on the visibility and severity of the doubling, these errors can drastically increase a coin's value, especially when paired with a well-preserved surface. Another highly sought-after variant is the off-center strike, a dramatic and visually appealing error where the design isn't properly centered on the coin, leaving a blank crescent-shaped area. Some 1971 quarters have been found with 10%, 20%, or even more of the design off the flan, making them not just unique, but also rare in the marketplace. Coins like these don't just sell, they spark bidding wars. One more eye-catching anomaly is the clipped planchet error. This is where a small portion of the coin's edge is missing, almost as if someone snipped it with scissors before it left the mint. These clipped planchet quarters from 1971 are hot collectibles, and when combined with a strong strike and clean fields, they can bring in a serious premium at auction. The rarer the error, the more excitement it stirs among dedicated collectors. Now let's talk about condition, because even a regular 1971 quarter can be valuable if it's in mint state or higher. Coins graded MS65 or above, that's mint state 65 on the Sheldon scale, are extremely rare from this year, especially with clean surfaces, sharp details, and no signs of wear. Most 1971 quarters were heavily circulated, tossed into cash registers, vending machines, or change jars. That's why finding one that's nearly flawless is like finding a diamond in a field of gravel. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC have authenticated a small number of high-grade 1971 quarters with rare errors. And every time one hits the market, collectors go wild. A coin that was originally worth just 25 cents has now become the centerpiece of major auctions. It's not just about age, it's about rarity, condition, and those fascinating mint-made quirks that make one coin stand out from millions. Let me give you a real-world example to bring it home. One such 1971 quarter, featuring an off-center strike and graded in high mint state, recently made headlines when it fetched an incredible $80,000 at a specialty coin auction. That's right, $80,000 for a quarter that some lucky person could have found in their change. Imagine turning loose change into a fortune. That's the magic of coin collecting. So, if you've got a 1971 quarter sitting in a drawer or rattling in your piggy bank, it's time to take a second look. Start by weighing the coin and examining its edges. Then, under good lighting or a magnifying glass, inspect the details for doubling, off-center elements, or clipped edges. And if anything seems unusual, don't hesitate, submit it to a reputable grading service to assess its authenticity and condition. The investment in grading might just turn a quarter into a collector's dream. This is why the 1971 Washington quarter is no ordinary coin. It's a shining example of how history, craftsmanship, and a little mint-made mystery can create something truly extraordinary. Coin collectors across the world are actively searching for this date, especially those with rare errors and pristine finishes. These coins aren't just in high demand, they're rising in value with every passing year. Have you ever come across a strange-looking 1971 quarter? Do you suspect you have a coin with a hidden error or unique feature? We want to hear your story in the comments below. Share your coin finds, ask your questions, and join a thriving community of collectors who are passionate about discovering the hidden treasures within everyday pocket change. Third expensive coin. Imagine pulling out some change from your pocket, and among those coins, you spot an ordinary-looking 1967 Washington quarter. But what if I told you that this one coin could be hiding a hidden fortune, not just a few bucks, but potentially a staggering treasure waiting to be uncovered? That's right. The 1967 Washington quarter-dollar coin is far more exciting than it appears, and today we're about to dive into why this particular quarter is catching the eye of collectors, experts, and auction houses all over the country. The year 1967 might sound like just another chapter in American history, but for coin collectors, it was a turning point. The U.S. Mint was still transitioning from silver to clad coinage, and during this time, some very unusual things happened at the Mint. While the quarters from 1967 were intended to be struck on copper-nickel-clad planchets, mistakes during production led to some quarters being minted with surprising errors that now make them extremely valuable. These aren't just quirky imperfections, they are rare collectibles, and they are making big waves in the numismatic world. Let's talk about the first kind of rarity, the wrong planchet error. Some 1967 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets. Yes, real silver, left over from 1964 coin production. This rare and fascinating error results in a coin that weighs more than it should and shines differently under the light. If your 1967 quarter doesn't show that typical copper edge and weighs around 6.25 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams, you might be holding a piece of numismatic gold, figuratively speaking. Another prized discovery is the double die error. This is where the die that strikes the coin slips or shifts slightly, causing a doubling effect on the text or numbers. Imagine looking closely and seeing the date 1967 with a faint shadow version right behind it. That doubling could multiply the value of your coin significantly. Coins with visible doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself are considered rare and desirable, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these standout specimens. There's also the thrilling off-center strike error. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press during striking, leading to a dramatic and eye-catching design that's shifted to one side. It's a minting mishap that turns a standard quarter into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. A 1967 quarter with a clean, well-defined off-center strike can become the centerpiece of a serious collector's display. Don't forget the missing clad layer error, where one side of the coin appears dull, grayish, and even rough-textured. These coins are missing the outer nickel layer and are incredibly rare when found in good condition. It's not a post-mint damage, it's a genuine U.S. Mint mistake, and that's what gives it such high value in the collector's market. The condition of the coin also plays a massive role in its worth. Most 1967 quarters have been through decades of circulation, showing wear and tear from pocket to pocket. But once in a while, a coin shows up in pristine mint state condition, untouched, uncirculated, and gleaming with detail. These MS-65, MS-66, and higher-graded coins fetch huge premiums and are highly desirable at coin shows and auctions. The shine, strike quality, and lack of scratches or blemishes are what separate common coins from high-value collectibles, and now let's talk numbers. A rare 1967 quarter, struck on the wrong planchet, in near-perfect condition, and possibly paired with an error like doubling or a missing clad layer. This kind of coin recently made waves in the auction world when it sold for an incredible $98,000. That's right, one single quarter that someone might have once overlooked in their change jar turned out to be worth $98,000. This is the kind of discovery that excites collectors, stuns investors, and inspires everyone to take a second look at their spare change. So, how do you know if your 1967 quarter might be one of these rare treasures? Start with the basics. Weigh the coin using a precise scale. Look for unusual coloring or missing clad layers. Use a magnifier to inspect for doubling in the letters and numbers. Examine the coin for any unusual edges or signs of an off-center strike. And if anything looks odd or extraordinary, get that coin graded professionally. A simple submission to PCGS or NGC could transform that everyday quarter into your biggest find yet. Collectors across the world are constantly on the hunt for rare 1967 quarters because of their unique place in minting history, their fascinating error varieties, and their rising value. These coins are in high demand, not just because they're rare, but because they represent that perfect combination of beauty, mystery, and historical significance. Now it's your turn. Have you come across a 1967 quarter that looks different? Do you have one tucked away in a coin jar or inherited collection that might carry one of these rare features? Drop your stories and photos in the comments below. Let's help each other discover the hidden gems that might be hiding in plain sight. Especially, what if I told you that a regular 25-cent coin, a Washington quarter from the year 1980 with a P mint mark, could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars today? Yes, you heard that right. The 1980p Washington quarter dollar coin is not just another coin in circulation, it's a secret treasure, and in today's video, we're going to reveal what makes this coin so rare, so collectible, and why collectors are chasing after it like gold. The Washington quarter has always held a special place in American coinage, but the 1980p version stands out for many fascinating reasons. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark, this coin may seem like an ordinary piece of change, but some of the coins from this batch were struck with unique characteristics and errors that transformed them into collector's gold. These aren't just any coins. These are the coins that make your heart race if you're lucky enough to find one in your pocket. One of the biggest reasons why the 1980p quarter has become so desirable is due to rare and unusual mint errors. A few coins were found to have double die obverse errors, where the design was accidentally struck twice, but slightly misaligned, leading to a doubled appearance on the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." These kinds of errors are not only incredibly rare, but also incredibly valuable because they were never intended to exist. They are accidents that became treasures. Another exciting error to look for in the 1980p quarter is the off-center strike. These are coins that were not correctly aligned in the press, causing the design to shift to one side, sometimes even partially missing. Off-center coins are thrilling for collectors because they are visually dramatic and unique. No two off-center coins are the same, making them an instant standout in any coin collection. Have you heard about the clipped planchet error? That's when a portion of the coin is physically missing, a curved clip along the edge caused during the cutting of the blank planchet. Finding a 1980p quarter with this kind of mint error is like hitting the jackpot. These errors are both eye-catching and authentic, giving your coin a rare personality that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. There are also known examples of transitional planchet errors where the 1980 quarter may have been struck on a blank meant for a different denomination or year. These coins can have subtle differences in color, weight, or metal content, and if verified, these rarities can reach jaw-dropping prices at auctions. Every detail matters when it comes to rare coins, so keeping your eyes open for even the slightest oddity can pay off in a big way. Condition is everything in the world of numismatics. Coins that have been circulating for years may still hold some value, but it's the coins in mint state, those that are virtually untouched since production, that command the highest prices. A 1980p quarter in MS65 or higher, combined with a unique error or variety, becomes a dream find for collectors and investors alike. So don't underestimate the power of preservation. The better the condition, the bigger the reward. Collectors today are more passionate than ever, and auction houses are seeing a surge in demand for coins from the 1980s that showcase these rare features. A top-grade 1980p quarter with a prominent double die or striking error recently caught the attention of bidders and ultimately sold for an amazing $60,000. Yes, $60,000 for a single quarter. It's the kind of story that inspires collectors all over the world to dig into their change jars with renewed excitement. If you're watching this and thinking, how can I tell if my 1980p quarter is valuable? It starts with careful observation. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to examine the date, the mint mark, and the inscriptions. Look closely at the rim and the edges of the coin. Is it slightly off-center, clipped, or unusually shiny or dull? And most importantly, if anything looks out of the ordinary, consider having your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A tiny difference could mean a huge value. The 1980p quarter isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of how everyday objects can carry incredible stories and hidden value. Coin lovers, collectors, and even casual hobbyists are now on the hunt for this exciting piece of American minting history. With its rare errors, high-grade potential, and growing demand, it's no surprise that this coin is making headlines and turning heads. Have you ever come across a 1980p quarter that looked different? Maybe you found one with doubling, or perhaps you have a shiny coin from that year that's been sitting in your collection for decades. If so, let us know in the comments below. Share your coin stories, your photos, and your questions. We love hearing from fellow collectors and helping each other on this amazing numismatic journey. Next coin. If I told you that a simple 1986 Washington quarter with a P mint mark could be hiding in your pocket change right now and that it might be worth thousands of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. The 1986 P Washington quarter is one of those hidden treasures in American coinage that many collectors overlook, and today, we're about to uncover the secrets that make this coin so fascinating and so valuable. The Washington quarter has been a symbol of American currency since 1932, but certain years, like 1986, stand out due to special characteristics and minting anomalies. The P mint mark, located on the obverse side of the coin just to the right of Washington's ponytail, signifies it was minted in Philadelphia. This year might not sound extraordinary at first, but under the surface lies a world of collecting potential and surprising rarity that even seasoned numismatists are now recognizing with excitement. Let's talk about what really makes the 1986 P quarter a hot target for collectors, and it's all about those valuable mint errors. One of the most prized errors for this coin is the double die obverse, where elements like the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust appear to be doubled. This doubling effect is not caused by wear or damage, but by a misalignment during the minting process. When you spot this type of doubling, you're looking at a true error that sets your coin apart from the millions of others. Another thrilling and extremely collectible error to look out for is the off-center strike. These are coins that weren't aligned correctly in the minting press, causing the design to be printed off-center. In some extreme cases, part of the design or even part of the date is missing. These off-center errors are bold, obvious, and highly collectible because no two off-center strikes are the same, making each coin a unique piece of minting history. Don't forget about the clipped planchet error either. This is when a portion of the coin is actually missing because it was punched out incorrectly before the coin was struck. A curved cut on the edge of your 1986 P quarter might just indicate that it's a rare clipped planchet error, and these coins are incredibly desirable because they tell a story of a mechanical mistake that slipped through U.S. mint quality control. Another potential treasure among 1986 P quarters includes die cracks, cuds, and strike-throughs. Die cracks look like raised lines across the coin where the die was damaged during production. Cuds are raised blobs near the rim caused by a chunk of the die breaking off. Strike-throughs are where foreign material got between the die and planchet, creating unusual indentations. Each of these errors is rare, dramatic, and boosts the coin's collectability tenfold. Collectors are particularly focused on mint-state examples of this coin. Quarters that haven't been in circulation, remain bright and well-struck, and have been professionally graded at MS65 or higher. The better the condition, the higher the value, and when that condition is paired with a bold mint error, you've got yourself a coin that turns heads at auctions and makes other collectors jealous. Recent auctions have shown just how much demand there is for rare 1986 P quarters with these features. A stunning double die obverse version in near-perfect condition fetched a jaw-dropping bid from a private collector, leaving many surprised at the closing price. It's clear that interest in quarters from this decade is booming, and this year, more and more hobbyists are waking up to the hidden value of coins from the 1980s. Now imagine this. Your 1986 P quarter could be one of those rare error coins. Grab a magnifying glass and check every detail. Look at the date, inspect the letters, observe the rim. Any signs of doubling, off-center alignment, unusual marks, or missing portions could mean you're holding something incredibly special. And if you suspect your coin has value, send it in to be authenticated and graded by a trusted third-party service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm whether you've found a rare gem worth far more than face value. The U.S. Washington quarter dollar coin from 1986 with the P mint mark is no ordinary piece of change. It's an exciting opportunity for collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds who appreciate the history and mystery behind America's coinage. With its variety of rare errors, high-grade possibilities, and growing demand, this coin has solidified its place in the spotlight of modern numismatics. And here's the part that truly brings the excitement to another level. One of these rare and beautifully preserved 1986p Washington quarters with striking errors has been valued as high as $48,000 in recent private sales and coin shows. Yes, a single quarter, the same one you might have dismissed or spent without a second glance, could be worth $48,000. So, what are you waiting for? Go through your change, search your old coin jars, and dig deep into your collection. The 1986p quarter might just be waiting for you to uncover it. If you found a unique or strange-looking coin from this year, we want to hear about it. Drop a comment below, tell us your coin story, or ask questions. This community is here to help every collector thrive and grow. Last unique coin, we're uncovering the hidden secrets of one of the most fascinating coins from the 1990s, the 1995 Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia. This is a coin that proves treasures still exist in our everyday change. The 1995p quarter might look like any other quarter at first glance, but collectors around the country are on high alert for this specific year, and for good reason. While millions of these quarters were struck and entered circulation, only a very small number contain the rare and spectacular mint errors that make them extremely valuable today. These are the types of coins that excite numismatists, create bidding wars at auctions, and make everyday collectors dream big. Let's talk about the kind of features that make the 1995p Washington quarter a must-have in your collection. One of the most eye-catching and desirable types of errors found in this coin is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin die shifts between strikes, resulting in a dramatic doubling effect on elements like the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust. These doubled letters are a clear sign you might have a treasure on your hands, and they are very visible even to the naked eye when the coin is well preserved, but that's not all. The 1995p quarter has also been found with off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned with the coin's edge. Some of these show only partial images of George Washington's bust or have parts of the legend missing. The more off-center the strike, while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin becomes. These unique flaws make each error coin one of a kind, and collectors love the thrill of finding them. Other valuable errors in this coin include die cracks, cuts, and strike-throughs. A die crack looks like a raised scar running across the surface of the coin. A cut is a blob or bump on the rim where the die has broken off, and a strike-through happens when something like grease, fabric, or even metal shavings gets between the die and the blank coin during striking. These errors aren't just quirky, they make the coin stand out in a crowd and dramatically increase its value. High-grade versions of the 1995p quarter, especially those in mint state, MS 65 or higher, are always in high demand. Collectors are eager to find pristine examples that have never been circulated. These coins shine with their original luster, show sharp design details, and are often found inside old coin rolls or inherited collections. The better the condition, the higher the reward. Let's not forget the recent buzz surrounding this coin in the numismatic market. At several national coin shows and private auctions, 1995p quarters with rare errors have shocked audiences with their final selling prices. A well-preserved example with a strong double die error and certified by a reputable grading service recently drew the attention of multiple top-tier collectors. This isn't just hype. The value is real, and it's growing as more collectors turn their eyes toward modern-era error coins. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, could I have one of these? The answer is absolutely yes. These coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered in coin jars, old collections, or even pocket change. Grab a magnifying glass, check your 1995 quarters carefully, and look closely at the lettering, date, and rim. Anything unusual could be your ticket to numismatic success. The U.S. Washington quarter dollar coin from 1995, especially the one with the P mint mark, is an underrated gem in the collecting world. It has the perfect combination of historical significance, widespread appeal, and rare error potential. And the best part? You don't need to dig deep into ancient coin history or travel the world to find one. This treasure might already be in your possession, and all you need to do is recognize it, and here's the most exciting part of today's video. A rare 1995p Washington quarter, showcasing a strong double die obverse and preserved in excellent condition, was recently valued and sold for an incredible $30,000. Yes, $30,000 for one single quarter that someone could have easily spent without even knowing, so don't wait another day. Search through your coins, check your quarter rolls, and study the small details. And if you find something you're unsure about, consider sending it to a professional grading service for evaluation. You never know, you might be the next collector to strike gold with a coin worth tens of thousands. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more exciting coin stories, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new discovery. And most importantly, drop a comment below if you've come across a 1995 quarter with any interesting features or errors. This is a community for collectors, and your story might just inspire someone else's next great find. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and always remember, in the world of coins, even a simple quarter can hold a fortune in value and history.